I think you guys are attributing malice to how unimaginably incompetent these people are. We're going to talk about some of these lies from DOGE in general. The DOGE team is finally posting examples of where they've cut spending. This one claims $8 billion in savings, bottom figure, but if you look at the fine upper print, the contract instead is valued at $8 million. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, investigations on Operation Support Dallas, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, Equal Employment Opportunity Funding Office. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. Once again, lying is OP. Lying, especially due to incompetence, is doubly OP, because when you are stupid, you don't even realize you're lying, which makes it easier for you to lie. Because if you're like aware that you're lying, that's going to be kind of difficult. That requires you to at least demonstrate some semblance of skill. When you know what the truth is, it makes it more difficult to lie. If you're stupid and you're lying, you can believe the lie. You can believe the false information. Here's a momentum chaser that we were going to look at. After several delays, DOGE has finally posted its purported savings. Why did it take so long to create a simple web page with a 1,000-row table? Who knows? Let's dig in. Headline number, $55 billion saved. They list the savings per next contract. This should be easy to verify then. First thing I did is add up the saved column for all canceled contracts and real estate. The numbers are $16.5 billion and $0.14 billion respectively. Odd. Since almost all the purported savings come from contracts, we'll focus on that. Single biggest ticket item is a DHS contract listed at saving $8 billion. Wow, that's a huge contract. Actually, no, it's $8 million. They must have tried to automate scraping the FPDS form and failed. That means we're down to $8.5 billion in savings. So they claim $16 billion in savings, and it turns out it's not. It's just, I guess, across the board, $8 billion. Boom. Half of it is gone. The next three biggest ticket items are all USAID contracts listed at $655 million each, so $2 billion total. Wow, pretty big. Wait, these are IDVs, not contracts. $655 million is the entire set aside, being triple counted. In the first 5 years, only $73 million was awarded. Only 2 years remain. That's the other side of the story. The CFPB's entire budget allocation is $1 billion. But how much of that $1 billion budget has the CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, utilized so far? $200 million, which means they haven't used $700 million of their budget yet, more than $700 million. When you cut the CFPB, the saving is not $1 billion in that regard. It's also really stupid because the CFPB obviously has returned more than $20 billion back to the consumers with a mere $200 million of expenditure. Claim $55 billion, show $16 billion, actually $8 billion if you lose your eyes on the biggest thing. No, it's going to get worse than that. So we're down to $6.5 billion in savings, and an alarming trend emerges. DOGE does not seem to understand how the government contracts they are canceling work. The savings they are claiming are not annual savings, but rather hypothetical savings if we spend every unobligated penny. And more importantly, they are just getting it wrong with alarming consistency. These numbers are erroneous. This select group of geniuses has not double-checked even the largest items accounting for the bulk of their claimed savings. This is a sad, pathetic farce. Here's the next biggest item. An IT services contract for the Social Security Administration worth $1 billion. That's a lot of savings. Well, again, this contract spans 6 years. 80% has already been spent. Well, more like $240 million in savings spread over the next 3 years. $80 million a year. That's assuming it's not deliberate. No, I think you guys are attributing malice to how unimaginably incompetent these people are. I think that the negligence is malicious, certainly, like their lack of care is due to malice, but you have to understand that they are legitimately stupid. Okay, this is not to abdicate them of responsibility or morality, because the end result is still the same: people getting fired, people being misinformed. But it 100% is also incompetence. Incompetence is, in my opinion, playing a major role here. I'll give you an example of Israel. Okay, Israel's operations inside of the Gaza Strip. There is a breakdown of command with respect to appropriate kill targets in the Gaza Strip. But that chaos and that disorder is actually deliberate. That chaos and disorder is deliberate because what they want to do is create killing fields. And if you were to actually try to directly tell people to go out and engage in killing fields, well, then you don't have plausible deniability. So a lot of Israeli operations always look very incompetent, like when they've shot the convoy of the World Central Kitchen aid workers. But the real reason why that happened is because there is a breakdown in command that is deliberate, because they have corridors where they engage in mass killing. It doesn't matter. That is because the overarching goal of the entire government's military operation there is to engage in as much killing as possible. They are weaponizing incompetence. It kind of goes along with what I was saying earlier. It's easier to lie if you are too stupid to understand that you're lying. It's easier to lie if you're too stupid to recognize that the information you're working with is incorrect. The difference here, however, is that they have no interest in correcting the record. Like, this isn't like a, oopsie, we got this wrong, but we'll fix it. It's more so, oopsie, we got this wrong. Everyone is yelling at us, but what the fuck are they going to do about it? Because the outcome is still the same. Do you understand what I mean here? It's not necessarily that like this is being done because they're deliberately going, ooh, let's just add an extra zero to this contract to make it seem like we actually eliminated so much more of the debt than we actually did. They're not doing this in that vein, I guess. And so many less people will hear about the mistake portion of it. Yeah, partially because of how information echo chambers work nowadays online, especially with like the blossoming revolution of independent media. There are a million different outlets where you can get opinions that you want to hear masquerading as the truth. It creates additional permission cycles for false information to present itself as the reality. It creates an environment where people turn around and go, well, these guys are independent content creators. This guy's not even a political commentator at all. And he's also saying how great it is that the government is actually reducing so much of this like ridiculous expenditure that they were spending on, I don't know, gay autism research or whatever, or gay autism vaccination initiatives or whatever. And then every single day, we just move further and further away from the truth. In 2023, this contract funded 1,000 FTEs working $100 an hour. Did we need 1,000 SWEs working on SSA infrastructure? Probably not. These could be valid savings. Disclaimer, no idea what they actually did, but worth noting that these cuts will impact many private sector jobs as well. SWEs, not SVs. And if anyone is curious, there are currently 17 lines that say CFPDS rather than the savings amount, I guess because their automated scraping failed. I did it manually and it took roughly 10 minutes, but that's too much of an ask for super geniuses working 120 hours a week. If you look at the website, there's a toggle between contract value and savings, and so many of the savings line items are $0. A quote tweet in regard to the employee at Social Security. I went and looked at the publicly available contractual documents, probably closer to 2K employees in various roles. The contract sounds like it's the entire information technology department for the Social Security Administration. This will absolutely be a lawsuit. Motherfuckers are too dumb to understand government fund accounting. There's a reason it's a special topic in the accounting field, much like medical and construction accounting are. Yes, this is yet another instance where like there is a very deliberate, very real reason why there's highly specialized fields here, because most people don't understand the data that they're looking at. Now, this person is not a government accountant, as far as I understand. You know, he's just some random guy. And even some random guy can call out a bunch of these inconsistencies. Why are we pretending they care to be accurate? They're not. That's my point. They're not pretending to be accurate. They don't care. They're not even trying to pretend to be accurate. They're just throwing numbers out, knowing full well that there is no way to counter this kind of misinformation. There are very few outlets that are like actively trying to correct the record. It is very difficult for them to do that because it's an unlimited faucet of misinformation, like Twitter, for example. What's weird about the situation is that, yes, of course, is there a lot of bloat in the federal government? Obviously. I mean, look at the fucking DOD. Jesus Christ. Having said that, however, every competent Democrat should currently be matching up the FAA layoffs and the linking up with like the unions involved in every part of air travel to constantly say, look at all the planes that are falling out of the sky. Do you really want less people working on your safety? Every Democrat should be saying this. Every Democrat should be saying this and constantly pairing up the Republican agenda of austerity with death and destruction. This would be effective communication. You let them off the hook when you chalk it to incompetence. It is deliberate. No, it is weaponized incompetence, okay? I'm just simply stating what I think is the truth. And the reason why I'm saying that is because they're not particularly brilliant, okay? They're not. These guys aren't like brilliant geniuses who are like, ooh, let's just lie deliberately. No, I think a lot of this can be explained with them trying to scrape the data and doing a piss poor job at it.